Okay, so when you think about those legendary mentorships,
Hmm.
like you've got Yoda and Luke Skywalker,
Right, right.
Mr. Miyagi and Daniel San.
Yeah, the classics.
It's like that classic student-teacher dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, get ready for like a real head-scratcher.
Okay.
Because today we're diving into a story about maybe the most unlikely mentorship
Okay.
ever. Think about this Britain's most notorious prisoner,
Wow.
Charles Bronson,
Okay.
and this guy named Decca, who just desperately wanted to make his own mark in prison history.
And that's what makes this story so fascinating, right? It's
Yeah.
like it flips the script on the whole mentorship concept.
Right.
Because Bronson, this guy known for brutality,
Right.
somehow becomes this mentor figure.
Right.
Although you're right, maybe not in the way you would expect.
Not your typical mentor.
Well, not at all.
No, seriously, Charles Bronson was not your average jailbird.
Right.
Like, the guy was infamous for these violent outbursts, constantly making headlines for brawls, escape attempts. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the guy earned that nickname, Britain's most violent prisoner, for a reason.
There's a legend in the prison system.
Right.
And, that's what drew Decca to him in the first place.
Okay.
So imagine idolizing
Yeah.
the toughest guy behind bars and seeing that as
Right.
like the pinnacle of what you yourself want to become.
Wow.
Decca didn't just want to be a tough guy. He wanted to be the most dangerous prisoner in the UK.
Talk about ambition.
Yeah.
So he seeks out Bronson, right?
Yeah.
Fully believing he's about to get like a crash course
Right.
in hardcore criminal activity.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But instead of like dismissing Decca outright or even worse, threatening him,
Right.
Bronson reacts in a completely unexpected way.
What's that?
Amusement.
What?
It's almost as if he saw right through Decca's act.
So, like, he found the whole thing endearing or something?
Endearing might be pushing it a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But there's this sense that Bronson, in his own way, is entertained by Decca's eagerness.
Okay.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because his first task for Decca isn't about brutality at all.
What is it?
It's about interior design.
Wait, what?
You heard that right.
I am...
Bronson tasks Decca with wallpapering his prison cell.
Really?
And not just any wallpaper. We're talking tigers, lions, skulls.
Oh, wow.
Basically the most fierce imagery you can imagine plastered all over the walls.
Can you picture Decca's face?
Oh, I know.
Talk about mixed signals.
Right.
Here he is, ready to dive into the world of, like, hardened criminals, and he's handed a glue stick and told to decorate.
I know, it's incredible.
Wow.
It's this juxtaposition of this notorious hard man requesting art in a place that's designed to strip you of your individuality.
Right.
It really makes you think about Bronson's need for control, even in a setting where he has so little.
So what does Decca do?
Does he balk at the idea?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay.
After that initial confusion, he just completely throws himself into the task.
Really?
Almost obsessively, actually.
Wow.
He's scavenging for materials, meticulously cutting and pasting.
Wow. And Bronson's watching all this.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like this bizarre master-apprentice dynamic that emerges,
Right.
with Decca willingly playing the role of the eager student.
Even if the lessons aren't quite what he expected.
I bet Bronson is getting a kick out of this whole situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can almost hear him thinking this is too easy
Right.
as he sits back and watches Decca scurry around.
Wow.
But little does Decca know, this is just the beginning.
It's kind of like you touched on something there, this whole master-apprentice dynamic.
Yeah.
Because as if like wallpapering Bronson's cell wasn't bizarre enough,
Right.
the tasks just get more and more outlandish.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
So what happens?
So the wallpapering, that was like the tip of the iceberg. Bronson, always wanted to keep things interesting, starts piling on these increasingly menial tasks.
What else does he have him doing?
We're talking clipping Bronson's nails, doing his laundry.
What?
The guy's
No.
practically Decca's become his personal housekeeper.
It's like Bronson's playing a prank on him or something.
Sure.
Like, let's see how far I can push this guy.
Exactly. And the best part is the other inmates are in on the joke, too.
Oh, I bet.
So imagine this, right? Decca, this aspiring tough guy,
Right.
running around with Bronson's laundry, like a,
Oh, my God.
dare we say it, like a hotel maid or something?
The other inmates are loving this.
Oh, they're eating it up.
I bet this is like the stuff of legends within the prison.
Oh, absolutely. And the sources really capture that amusement. Like,
Yeah.
there are actual quotes from other prisoners mocking Decca,
Like what?
calling him Bronson's butler, joking about him mastering tough guy vacuuming and stuff.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
Talk
To
about,
be the butt of the joke in that kind of environment.
I know, it's like the ultimate humiliation, right?
Right.
And yet Decca never seems to catch on.
So he's buying into this whole, like, apprenticeship thing.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Really?
He actually brags about these chores to the other inmates,
No way.
completely missing the irony.
Wow.
It's like he's convinced himself that, like, scrubbing Bronson's toilet
Right.
is like some secret training regimen for becoming the UK's most dangerous man.
Wow. Talk about self-deception.
I know, right? It's incredible.
But what is going on in this guy's head?
Right.
Like, why does he cling to this delusion so tightly?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really speaks to, I think, this fundamental human need.
Okay.
The need for connection, the need for purpose, the need for validation.
Right.
Here's Decca. He's surrounded by the toughest of the tough.
Yeah.
And he desperately wants to belong. He wants to prove himself worthy, even if it means embracing a reality that everybody else can see right through.
So he's clinging to this fantasy. It gives him a sense of belonging,
Yeah.
sense of purpose, even if it's all just a fabrication.
Exactly.
It's almost kind of sad when you think about it.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And, you know, while Decca's running around fulfilling all these domestic duties,
Right.
Bronson's lapping it up.
Oh, I bet.
There's actually a quote from one of the sources that says he used to watch Decca scurry around
Okay.
with this proud, almost fatherly grin.
A fatherly grin. Now that's not an image you typically associate with, like, Charles Bronson.
Right.
What do you make of that?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like Bronson, in this, like, strange, twisted way,
Yeah.
saw a bit of himself in Decca. Like that eagerness to prove him, that distorted perception of, like, what it means to be tough.
Right.
But whether that grin was genuine amusement or just Bronson toying with Decca for his own entertainment,
Right.
well, that's a question for the ages.
So we've got Decca, the aspiring hard man, turned glorified housekeeper,
Right.
and Bronson, the notorious prisoner who seems to be getting his kicks
Yeah.
out of this whole charade.
Yeah.
So where does it go from there?
Well, there was one incident that really highlights just how far down the rabbit hole Decca had gone.
Right.
His exchange with one of the prison guards, a guy named Officer Harris.
Okay, let's hear it. So we got Officer Harris coming into the picture now.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, you know, word had gotten around the prison about Decca's so-called hard man training. And everyone's in on the joke at this point, including Officer Harris.
Okay.
So picture this.
Okay.
Officer Harris walks up to Decca, completely deadpan,
Mm-hmm.
and asks him, you know, how's the training going? Is Bronson working you hard?
And Decca, being completely oblivious, just takes the bait.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no.
He puffs out his chest and he launches into this whole spiel
Really?
about, like, you know, discipline and order.
Right.
And how he's, like, learning the ropes of being, like, the toughest bloke in Britain.
All while he's, like, you know, polishing Bronson's shoes or something?
Probably.
Yeah.
That is rough.
And just when you think it can't get any worse,
Yeah.
Officer Harris hits him with it.
What does she say?
She says completely straight-faced, "Well, if you're up for a real challenge, I hear Bronson's toilet could use a good scrubbing."
Oh, I know.
She didn't.
Oh, she went there.
Wow.
It was like this blatant, almost cruel joke designed to just, like, expose the utter absurdity of this whole situation.
Yeah, so how does Decca react to that?
Does he finally see the light?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Without missing a beat, Decca replies, "Already on it,"
Yeah.
completely serious.
He's doubling down.
I know.
That's unbelievable.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this incident, I think, really drives home, like,
Yeah.
how powerful that need for validation can be.
Right.
To the point where we might cling to narratives about ourselves
Right.
that are clearly untrue, even humiliating,
Right.
just to feel like we belong, like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves.
So it makes you wonder, was Bronson intentionally feeding into all of this? Like, did he see this as some sort of, like, psychological experiment, a way to, like, you know, exert his power even from within a prison cell?
Right.
Or was he just bored and looking for a laugh?
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible to know for sure.
Right.
But it definitely adds another layer of complexity
It does.
to this already bizarre story.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you think, like,
Right.
how often are we doing that even in the outside world?
Exactly.
Like constructing these narratives about ourselves, the people around us that maybe don't reflect reality.
Yeah.
Just because we crave that connection.
And purpose.
Yeah, that sense of purpose.
Exactly.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
we leave you with this.
Okay.
The next time you find yourself kind of questioning a situation, wondering if you're seeing things clearly,
Yeah.
remember Decca
Right.
and his unusual bond with Charles Bronson.
It's a good reminder.
Because it really is a reminder that sometimes that line between mentor and manipulator,
Right.
between reality and self-deception,
Yeah.
can be pretty blurry.
Very blurry.
And maybe, just maybe, there's a little Decca in all of us.